Welcome back, guys. Game number 2 of our 3-game series. It's Lurantis GX against Umbreon GX. And Proxy Log, how's it going, man?
What's going on, Matt? Glad to be here back for game 2.
Yeah, glad you're back with us. And again, we have Lurantis GX on the left-hand side, Umbreon GX on the right-hand side, Corey and Caden in game number 2. And the first game, Proxy Log, was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a great first game. I thought Caden was going to take it with the Umbreon Evolution deck, but Corey ended up bringing it out in the end. It was really a good game.
So we get this game started. Fomantis on the left-hand side. Umbreon with that wonderful ability on the Energy Evolution, or Eevee-lution, if you want to call it that. Gets that Umbreon GX out on turn 2. And Logan, that ability is crazy.
It's probably one of the best abilities on a GX that we've seen so far. The ability to have a stage 1 on the first turn with simply an energy is amazing.
And Bursting Balloon goes down, and Corey gets that Forest of Giant Plants. So let the race begin here. Yeah, there's Lurantis from the Ultra Ball, and I would imagine he may try to get that Vileplume's at least Gloom on there in the first turn. Hold off on the Vileplume for a while, and I guess we'll see what he decides to do here. But again, it's being talked about right now how much Forest of Giant Plants really does affect the game, and it's interesting to see, is it a broken card? I mean, that's kind of the talk going on around right now.
It is so strong. I mean, there's just so many decks right now that are utilizing it, especially, and every single one of them has a Vileplume in it, it seems like.
So there's that Trevenant EX card, which we didn't get to see at all first game, and it looks like it won't be played this game either, as it goes straight to the discard. There's another Lurantis out now. Shaymin for, let's see, 3? Yeah, 3 cards.
For 3.
Gets that another Lurantis into his hand. Puts a Floatstone on Oddish. And Corey may try to get that Vileplume set up here turn 1. I don't know if he'd want to do that or not. Okay, so he does it. He decides to pass. The Bursting Balloon will go in the discard, and Forest of Giant Plants goes away now.
Yes. Oh, wow. Sycamore's out. That hand. That's a pretty good hand. He gets rid of one of his Umbreons.
So the Umbreon goes away, the Zoroark goes away, but I think the big deal there, the 2 VS Secret it appeared to be there. So that could come back to bite him later, but we'll see. Tauros goes down. Another Eevee hits the bench on Caden's side. Crushing Hammer. He's going to try to get rid of that energy. Hits the 1. And I see that way too often.
Yeah, same. Only mine's with Max Elixir. I just never hit anything when I need it.
Yeah, that's the worst too. So Caden pulls out a Shaymin there with the Ultra Ball, and I believe he's going to have a perfect setup with the Shaymin.
Yeah, this can be a 6-card setup with that Shaymin.
And that's
maybe
really,
give him the DCE that he needs.
Yeah, and that's really what you dream for when you play Shaymins in your deck. You know, you want that perfect 6-card setup, and here's a perfect example of that happening right now.
He does get the DCE that he needed.
So the DC, he gets that. He also gets a Tauros with the Floatstone down there, so that Tauros could be a major player in the game as we move on a few turns. And he does put that DCE down on Umbreon GX, so we'll do the 90-30. Be interested to see
now. I would
where
put that.
Yeah, where he puts the 30. Yeah.
Yeah, the Oddish is where I'd be putting it. I hate Vileplume. It's a great card. It's scary, and so I'd be throwing 30 damage onto that Oddish every time.
And I think Corey assumed there. Did you see that he put the 3 damage counters on the Shaymin? On the Shaymin, which normally wouldn't necessarily be a bad play. So I get what he's thinking there, but Caden wants it on the Oddish on the bench. So 30 goes down there. Another Fomantis down now. Gets an energy on that Lurantis on the bench. Timer Ball, let's see if he hits it. There's 1 and 2. Only hit 1 in the first game, so should be happy about that one.
Does get a Gloom. It looks like he's looking for a Vileplume, but does not have another one in his hand. Or in his deck. That's crazy.
So
all of his Vileplumes are in his discard at this point. It looks like the only option he has is to take the Gloom.
Yeah, at least I didn't see a Vileplume. There could have been... Okay, no, he has one. Okay, there was one in the discard. Maybe one in his hand there. No, I can't tell. Trainer's Mail goes down now. Let's see what he grabs. We'll grab the Ultra Ball there. We'll play the Ultra Ball. And, of course, there we go, Log. I talked deeply about the energy going to the discard, but with Lurantis, you want it there. So really the hammers aren't a big deal.
Right, yeah. Playing Lurantis is not really a big deal if you get hammered, because you just take it from the discard anyway. It'll be right back up.
Yeah, and most of the time when I play my Mega Beach or Lurantis deck, I want that energy in the discard, so I always try to find spots with Ultra Balls or things like that to put them in there. But you also really have to be a really good manager of that too, because you need some to play also. So it's a really interesting thing to do there. Here's an Acro Bike, another Timer Ball. We'll put, there you go, another energy into the discard. And
he did Shaymin for 4 there, so.
So another
if
use
he wants,
Shaymin.
he can get the Vileplume set up on this turn. It looks like he drew the Revitalizer. Oh, and he plays it right there.
So the Revitalizer, a big deal. There's the 2 Vileplumes right there. We'll grab 1 Vileplume and Lurantis, gets that 3rd Lurantis set up. And that's really the advantage to the Forest of Giant Plants, even though it's not out on the board currently, but getting all these Pokemon set up so quickly within the first couple of turns, and as you can see, Corey's really getting set up the way he wants to. Caden is just a waiting game for him now, Log. It's just kind of sitting there and, okay, what's he going to play? And you can pretty much assume what's going to happen. Oh, okay, so he does the Flower Supply to the one on the bench. That's an interesting choice. The Bursting Balloon will go away. We'll take the damage, but hits Umbreon for 40.
Yeah. It's just such a big hit. Bursting Balloon is actually a really good card if your opponent attacks into it.
Well, it makes your opponent think a lot, too. So there's a Super Rod. Right. We'll see what he grabs. Zoroark, Umbreon will go back in the deck. He did put that DCE down on the Tauros on the bench, so now that Tauros is set up there, and that could be a major player moving forward in this matchup.
Now, once this Umbreon gets taken out, if it gets taken out, Corey has to think about playing around this Tauros and how he's going to do that.
Yeah, the Tauros really is a big deal. Luckily for Corey, though, that Fighting Fury Belt, there is obviously not one in play. I don't even think there is one in Caden's deck, so he doesn't have to worry about that being bumped up there to 220 HP. So it is definitely possible to knock him out with a Colorless GX.
Right. That is his only out on the Tauros. Otherwise, it's a dead Lurantis.
I've been playtesting different stuff with Umbreon. I think Zoroark obviously is the best play. And if Caden could get that Zoroark set up this game, I think he would be in fairly good condition because 30, 60, 90, 120, 150. But man, it just doesn't look like luck's in his favor right now to get that Zoroark set up.
He does take out the Lurantis, though. But there is another one set up, so he's just got to deal with that next turn.
He does choose to put the 30 damage on that Lurantis that comes into the active. A Forest of Giant Plants comes out now.
Another Lurantis. Looks like he might put that Vileplume down. Oh, he Ultra Balls.
Ultra Balls another energy away. It looks like a Timer Ball. He does have that Vileplume in hand, so he's obviously not looking for that. And I believe like we were talking earlier, there's not one in his deck anyhow.
I don't think he has much in the way of Pokemon left in his deck.
Well, and quite honestly, too, one thing a lot of the players are doing now, especially with those Ultra Balls, is just playing it, and if you fail it, you fail it, but just seeing what's left in your deck. And really, in many ways, a great thing to do to really get an idea of what's left over.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a great way to search through your deck, see what you've got, see what you don't have, and get a better perspective on what the rest of the game's going to look like.
So in many ways, it seems Umbreon GX it wants to take 2 shots, 2 turns to get a knockout. Lurantis seems to want to work around a little bit longer. Gets rid of that does get an energy in hand, and again, Log, like we were talking earlier, that's a moment there where you decide not to get rid of the energy.
Right. Yeah, it gets a little scary when you're thinning down your deck, and you realize you don't have much left to draw in case one of these dies, and you've got all your energy in your discard.
Well, I'm sure he's thinking as well that Colorless GX is possible, and he does have that energy in hand. So he does get rid of energy there, but like I said, he does have that one energy. There's an Ultra Ball, Level Ball there, and a Sycamore. Going back in.
There's another Vileplume.
There's the Vileplume. Let's see if he decides to play it here. What's he got? 5-6 cards left in his deck?
He's getting thin. He does play the Vileplume, so no more item cards for the rest of the game or until this Vileplume dies.
You know, I've spoken heavily about how much I dislike Trevenant, and that's because of just the turn 1 just item lock. At least with Vileplume, it can take a while to get it set up, but it locks both players out as well, so that's a big deal. Gets the Zorua down, puts the DCE on Tauros now, so he's got 2 Tauros seemingly set up.
Yep.
If you get that Zoroark set up, that'd be nice. 30, 60, 90, 120 damage with that, and he opts to go with the 90 damage and 30 on Lurantis.
Yeah, not an awful play. I don't know. I think I'd still be maybe throwing it onto that Shaymin, hoping for a Lysandre play to where you can easily take out those 2 prize cards. And once you've already got 30 damage on Shaymin, I mean, you can hit 90 with the Umbreon, and there you go.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting move, but again, when you're in the moment like that, sometimes, you want to make decisions based on what you think's going to happen. Okay, so he brings the Tauros up, floats him back, brings up the other Tauros, Colorless GX, so that's exactly what Corey was holding onto that one energy there. Knocks out that Tauros. And, okay, so Tauros will take a knockout here on Lurantis. Brings up that third Lurantis. Now, it would be interesting if Corey didn't have that next Lurantis set up.
It would be. Oh, there's the Lysandre.
Lysandre into Shaymin, and that's game. But, man, came down to 2 prize cards for both players. And I'll tell you what, Log, a fun game, just as good as the first one. And I think if Caden could have got that Zoroark set up, it may have been a different story in some ways.
Yep. What a great best 2 of 3.
Fun matchup, and we hope to continue to bring you more matchups as we move along here on Draw 7 TV on YouTube. And we'll continue to record matches and bring them to you. So, yeah, there we go, Log. Another fun one, and we'll see you on the next one.
See you next time on Draw 7 TV.
And make sure you subscribe to the channel, follow us, tell your friends about us, tweet us, whatever you need to do. We'd love to hear from you. Until next time, see ya. See ya.